Do you remember the movie Flushed Away? Because I sure don't. In fact, I don't even think I watched it when I was younger. So I guess today is the day we figure out what the heck this movie is all about. We start the movie with Roddy. I'm gonna be 100% honest. I feel like I'm gonna mess up his name, so I apologize in advance if I do so. He is a pet rat whose owner is off on vacation. This means that Roddy has the whole house to himself to do whatever he wants to do. Play beach volleyball, drive around like he's Stuart Little, and watch an assortment of movies. Wait, those are all DreamWorks titles. So does that mean this is a movie inside of a movie? Or is this just another reality where this movie is real life, but those movies do exist as well? I don't know. All I know is that Roddy is having the time of his life because he gets to hang out with his super cool, awesome friends. You got Sarge and the Barbies. Wait, are all of his friends just dolls? One of two things has to be happening here. Either he's super lonely and he's created a little fantasy for himself, or he's delusional and he thinks that these dolls are real.
Sarge, wake up!
Yeah, I'm kinda thinking it's the latter. After his perfect day in paradise, he falls asleep, only to be waken up by the sink exploding, shooting out a sewer rat. Mind you, something like that could happen in our day-to-day life. Maybe not in the same fashion, but rats are amazing climbers. So those little creatures can shimmy up your drain pipe, so just be careful of that, okay? I'm so sorry if I terrified you with that information. This new rat's name is Sid, and he's pretty rowdy. Oh, lovely. It's gonna be one of those crude movies, isn't it? Sid likes living here because it's like living in a palace. But Roddy isn't too happy with the company. He comes up with the most devious, most cunning plan you will ever think of. Never mind, he was just going to push him down the loo. Oh my gosh, who would have saw that coming? Well, that's the end of Rodney because he is now flushed away. I'm joking, he's fine. He's just a little scared and alone because he's in unknown territory. Seriously, what is gonna come after him? A bunch of slugs? They seem a little more scared of him than he is of them. After running away from a bunch of terrified slugs, Roddy makes it to the big city. I mean, it's not really the big city per se, but it's a rat-sized replica of London. And this is the point of the film where I have to ask, are these rats furless, or is their hair their fur? The sewer folk are eccentric. One of them is an artist that has a stereotypical French outfit on, but speaks in a stereotypical Italian accent. Then there's another guy who wears a shower cap and 2 pieces of bread and yaps about the Great Flood. That rat might be crazier than Roddy.
Keep an eye on this one, he's a bit of a loony.
I was wrong. Roddy is still the oddest character. Now for the plot to progress. Roddy has to make it back home, but he needs a boat to do so. Enter Rita, a clever rat who might be a cat burglar. Or wait, no. I gotta think smaller. A rat burglar? I don't know. Because she steals this ruby from the mob. And they're not too happy that she stole it. Now, Roddy will stop at nothing to go home. So he takes it upon himself to rat out Rita. Rat out Rita. Goodbye, Rita. It was nice knowing you. This is why you don't steal from the mob. The members of the mob are actually kind of interesting. I really like this guy, who kind of reminds me of Crunk. He's the only white rat because he used to be a lab rat.
I was dark grey when we started. Still, it cleared up my dandruff.
Look at this guy. He's been through a lot of tragedy, but at least he can still see the world as the glass is half full. For helping capture Rita and get the ruby back, the mob welcomes Roddy to come back and meet their boss. He is the cruelest, most vicious man you will ever meet. Oh wait, nope, he's just a toad. He seems to like Roddy because he's from up top. So what did the toad need the ruby for, you ask? Well, he has this fascination with the surface world. Okay, more like a full-blown obsession with the royal family. Remember when I said that Roddy was the craziest character in this whole movie? Well, I was wrong. It's definitely this guy. He's unhinged, but it works so well with his animation. Roddy and the Toad are on the same page, that up top is a super cool, awesome place. And it seems like they're getting on quite well. Looks like Roddy will be home safe fairly soon. Okay, maybe not. For his clumsiness, he joins Rita in getting iced, which is when the mob freezes you alive. Rita doesn't really feel like getting turned into a popsicle today, so she comes up with a plan on the fly to get the heck out of there. And as she leaves, she grabs the ruby and snatches a cable as a zipline. Seeing this as the only way back to the surface, Roddy hitches a ride after the brilliant getaway. Rita needs a new belt because for some reason she broke hers, so she fashions the cable into a new belt, which doesn't really sound like a significant detail, but I assure you it is. Now, Rita and Rodney are not on the best terms. Rita is still pretty mad that Roddy sold her out, and I really don't blame her. She gets even angrier when Roddy takes a closer look at the ruby.
Watch this.
It's really not supposed to shatter like that. Rubies don't do that. Now, in order for Roddy to not get all of his teeth punched out by Rita, they make a deal that Rita will take him home to the surface for exchange for real jewels. Now, remember that cable I was talking about? The Toad isn't too happy that Rita stole it. And why does he need this cable back, you ask? Maybe it's for like world domination, or maybe he wants to turn everyone into toads. Those are good guesses, but no. He just wants to watch the World Cup. Listen, it's a huge game. It's Germany versus Great Britain. Back to Rita and Roddy. Before adventuring out, Rita has to make a little bit of a pit stop, and that being her family home, where we see that she has a billion brothers and sisters, and her parents can't really provide for them, which is why she needed the ruby in the first place. Her family is pretty nice. Her grandmother thinks Roddy is Tom Jones. And if you don't know who Tom Jones is, he sings It's Not Unusual. You know the song that Carlton dances to in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? He also sings She's a Lady, which this movie does indeed reference. Now, Roddy finds this a little more flattering than being called Millicent Bystander, which is what all of the townsfolk call him. When he said he was an innocent bystander, they misheard it and called him Millicent, so that's kind of funny, I guess. Rita's dad is, how do I put this? Broken. It's never really explained how or why, but my theory is either the mob beat him up or this kid that rollerblades around slammed into him accidentally. Do I have any evidence to back that up? No, I do not. But in a movie as crazy as this, it's plausible. Now, Roddy quite enjoys this crazy family. It's much better than being alone in his cage by himself. All good things must come to an end because Roddy overhears Rita with her brother and he believes that Rita's going to double cross him. So Roddy does what Roddy does best. Freaks out and runs, or in this specific case, steals Rita's boat. Angers Rita for the third time now. Dude, if you're not careful, she might beat you up and you'll end up in a full body cast like her dad. Now, Roddy isn't the best driver. I don't even think he has a boater's license, so I don't think he's authorized to be driving this in the first place. Now, before this thing starts to sink like the Titanic, Rita shows up. And if you're asking me how did she get there, I don't know. She doesn't seem too mad at Roddy, so that's a good sign. The deal is back on, and as they continue on their journey to Roddy's house, they start to get closer. Whoa, hold your woos. Because Roddy straight up lies to this girl. He says that he has a super cool, awesome family that he has to get back to. Some other stuff happens in this movie, like the mob rats trying to come after Rita and Roddy, but they fail. So the Toad sends a bunch of toads to do the job. This guy is his cousin, and he's French. They also fail, but not without sinking Rita's ship. And this is the only thing I don't understand about this movie. Throughout this whole film, there have been a bunch of movie references. Roddy is voiced by Hugh Jackman, and at one point, he almost dresses up as Wolverine. Out of all of the movie references, it doesn't reference the Titanic, and I don't understand why. because Rita is voiced by Kate Winslet, who is the lady from the Titanic. Most of this movie takes place on a boat. How do you not reference the Titanic? Roddy and Rita finally get to their destination, and Rita is super excited to meet Roddy's family, which he doesn't have. So he pretends that Sid, the rowdy rat from before, is his brother. And Rita immediately sees through his lies.
Hello, Sid.
Hello, Rita.
Again, why? Why lie to the lady in the first place? So now Roddy has to pick what's more important, his palace he once lived in or Rita. And the decision really isn't that hard. He chooses Rita, like, right off the bat. Mainly because he's pieced everything together. Remember the rat wearing the bread and the shower cap? Turns out he was right about the Great Flood. Because at halftime of the World Cup final, when all of the humans will need to relieve themselves, it'll create a great flood, washing all of the rats away. And that's what the toad wanted the whole time. That, and because he has a petty feud against rats. Because the prince picked a rat and flushed him down the toilet. He's a little deeper than you would have expected from a silly villain, I guess. Roddy goes back to rat-sized London and saves all of the rats from extinction. Roddy and Rita live happily ever after, and Sid now is this little girl's pet. Hopefully he doesn't have any diseases. So that was flushed away. As a first-time watcher, it was interesting. Crude humor really isn't my cup of tea, so I wasn't a big fan of that, but references are fun. And the villain was silly with an interesting twist that I wasn't really expecting, so that was something. All in all, a silly movie, and sometimes you just need a silly movie to get you through the day. So watch it, rewatch it if you want. If you don't, then okay. It doesn't really matter, you can make your own decisions. What memories do you have of watching this back in the day? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you're looking for another dose of nostalgia, look no further than this video about Over the Hedge. You can click on the video right over here. Well, I guess I'll see you guys when I see you next. All right, bye.